toward. Excellent. Yeah, see, there's the thing. All right, so like we're going to do 3 separate sets tonight. The first one we're going to do, and I'm going to go from like the most aggressive to the least aggressive. But the side note I'm going to make is that they're as aggressive as you want to make them. So they're all based on dynamic tension. You're not adding any exterior weight. It's all you. So if you want a harder workout, you press harder. Or if you want a harder workout and you're pressing as hard as you can, you extend the length of time with which you're pressing and holding the different movements, okay? So the reason I like these so much, I hate gyms and I hate equipment and I hate fiddling with things, so that I can just do this and feel like I got a really good strength workout and not have to pick up a dumbbell. So, the first one we're gonna do, muscle tendon change, is actually what got me so hooked on Ki Gong. It wasn't, I've mentioned this before, it wasn't Grandmaster Shin's fragrance Ki Gong. It's fun and all, and it's nice and relaxing to a point, but it wasn't what got me hooked at where I was at. The first one we're gonna do is what, like, oh, this is also Ki Gong? So that's when I laughed with like you guys. Yeah, will Rumi and Austin like it? I can show them, you know, what Ki Gong is to the level of, like, if, you know, tough guys that are squatting trees in the backyard are gonna, they can push themselves in, and it's really beneficial for that then, because they're just, you know, them against themselves. And so this is really good for that age group also. And then you don't have to get to worry about them pushing the weights too hard and doing too much excess weight too. So that's the other thing. You can gauge it. Your body's not gonna let you do more than you should. It'll stop you, which is cool about this. So muscle tendon change is one of the oldest ones, oldest sets that we have. That is like, there's a legend behind it where that, like, this is one of the sets that the Buddha found the monks kind of just wasting away because they're just meditating all the time. So that he figured out, okay, you guys do these exercises and they're gonna help build your strength in your body, while, you know, instead of just sitting around all day working on your mind. So this is one of the oldest sets, and then the next set we'll do is 8 pieces of brocade. So if you've been in like the weekly classes, I run through that for a whole month on a cycle. So we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it a little bit more with the added tension and spots we can add tension for there. And so again, you can gauge how much you want to work through that. And then the last one is a little bit newer of a set called Grand Martial Tradition, and Grandmaster Strong really likes this one. So it's the breathing is more the breathing is more focused than, say, the muscle tendon change. And then we get a little more focused with 8 pieces. And then Martial Tradition is really focused breathing, along with what I would consider simpler hand movements than the first 2 sets. Okay, so I'm gonna go most aggressive to least aggressive, and then probably most complex to least complex. We're gonna start with the hard one today. Okay, all right, so just because we're gonna be working out, moving our arms, just start swinging your arms. And I could have had you do that the whole time I was running my mouth, but whatever. So there's a lot of shoulders. We're going to do a lot of stretching with the arms. The first, and I'll kind of walk through how muscle tendon change works, since that's going to be our first one. The first set of movements, we're going to do 3 pressing movements where we press our palms together, and then we're going to do 3 reaching movements, and they're grouped together. And those are called pressing the pedestal. And then from there, we're going to do what I would generally be considering it's more of a neck stretch than anything else. So it's going to be a nice stretch for your neck. And then there's also a couple drops, and I call them drops, where we bring ourselves up to a point where we kind of drop down on our heels. And that's the challenge, and a lot of times that's put in these sets to challenge your balance and kind of bring it back to like a base level and shake things loose a little bit after doing all that tension. And a lot of dynamic tension. So we're gonna be holding a lot of poses, couple lunges, couple stretches with this one, a lot of hamstrings as well. All right, so if you're slowed this down, just roll the shoulders forward. Like I said, we're gonna be using these. and then back. Excellent. All right, slow that down. And then we'll just do a couple deep breaths in. We're going to inhale, bring your shoulders up to your ears. And then exhale, just let them drop. And again, drop. One more. Okay, so let's start with presenting the pedestal. So the first three movements is we're going to bring our hands together this way. And you're going to press into them as hard as you can the whole time. And we're going to do 3 sections of 30 seconds. So first position is way out like this. The next set, we're going to bring your hands in with your forearms parallel to the floor and fingertips facing the ceiling. And then your last position is you're going to point your fingertips towards your throat. And the whole time you do this, you want to hold that tension and just press and press and press and press. So you're going to feel all this light up. And again, if it's too much, you back off, right? And then as you progress with these, you can always add more time. So the reason I have the laptop is because I've got the timers built in here. All right, so we're going to do, I have a 1:30 timer set. I'll tell you when to switch positions, and we'll hold and press together on that. So here, go ahead, press, go. Come on. Being difficult. There we go. Now we can press. Halfway through this one, I change positions in 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingertips to the ceiling. Keep that press. Halfway through this one. Ten seconds left on this position. Point towards the throat in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that press, fingertips towards the throat. And then relax. Take some deep breaths in. Let that relax as I shut that alarm off. That last 30 seconds is always the longest. Okay, so the next one is a reach. So we're gonna, first position, feet together. We're gonna reach out. You can either reach out like palms or fingertips this way. I usually do fingertips, and then I can elongate this way. Second position, we're going to step into a wider stance and push the ceiling up as we sink down. So we're reaching up and sitting in, right? Karate stance, horse stance. And then the third position is going to be pushing straight ahead, same sit in that. All right, so we're holding tension in the legs, and I'm pressing the wall away across from me. Okay, so we have a reach, hold the ceiling up, and press the wall away. We'll do 30 seconds each of that one. Ready for the reach, and go. So reaching. Trying to grab the sides of the wall, the walls next to you. This one. Seconds left. Positions in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Widen out your base, reach to the ceiling, press up, sink down. Halfway through this one. 10 more seconds. Press towards the front. 4, 3, 2, 1. Push forward. Just breathe through it. Normal breathing. Reaching and pressing. And then relax. Take a few breaths. Just center yourself a little bit. I'm going to dismiss that terrible sound. And so we'll do the drop first. This one and the next one, our hand position is sometimes some instructors will call these knots because we're making a knot, so to speak, back this way. It's not necessary to touch your fingertips. It's just a place to put your hand. All right, so we're just going to lay it on the center. Just let it rest. Okay. For the first one, what we're going to do, I'm going to bring the other hand up to the top, and we're going to inhale. And as we inhale, I'm going to pick up the like I'm picking something up over my head. And as I do that, I'm also going to lift onto my toes and look towards that arm. And then the exhale, I'm going to drop. All right. And this one's for balance. It's a nice little stretch with the arm. You get to hold this position also and stretch that out a little bit. Okay. All right. So we're going to do 3 to each direction. All right. So here, nice inhales, we lift up. Exhale, drop down. Again, inhale. And one more on this side. Very good. We're going to switch sides. Inhale to lift up. Good again. And one more. Very good. All right, so the next one, again, we're going to have our hand here in this knot position, and this is the next stretch. So 3 positions on this one. We'll hold each one for 30 seconds. Turn, like, trying to think the best way for you guys. So backwards, I'm going to grab this way and turn my head. So I'm guiding, not pulling, right? This one is not a tension move because we don't want to stretch. We don't want to yank on the neck. Right, so we're just here, I'm just guiding it. I'm doing my best. I want to keep the arm that's up over and then sideways and open as much as possible. So I want to open up my chest as much as possible. So my first position is I'm looking away from my elbow. Then I'm going to bring my hand up around the top of my head, like I'm cradling on the top. And I'm going to, again, you just use the weight from my hand to gently just rest my head on my shoulder here if I can get it down that far. The last position, I'm going to turn and look towards my armpit, and then my not so like is nice. It's the perfect spot is exactly where I want to have my hand. And again, just that gentle weight from your head, from your hand, looking towards the floor in that way. So we're going to get 3 stretches for the neck. I'm going to stare more at the clock on this one because it's a challenge to crane my neck. It's counterproductive to stare at the clock and crane your neck at the same time. All right, so first position is we're going to pull this way. You're looking towards the opposite side. Halfway through there. One more second, still switching. Pull the ear to shoulder in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentle weight. Halfway through this one. Look towards your armpit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And good. And we'll switch to the other side. All right, so now we'll switch. So, oh, I want that side. So this way now, just the opposite side. Same thing. Starting by pulling away. Through. Pushing ear to shoulder in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring the ear to the shoulder. Gentle weight with the hand. Seconds till we switch. Eyes to armpit in 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Okay. Just that for now. All right, so that was the names vary depending on who translates to the Chinese, but nine ghost drawing swords, and then plucking the stars from the Big Dipper was the first one we did. So you think of plucking and then kind of dropping with that. So the next one we're going to do is a compression. So we're going to inflate the lungs as much as possible, and then when we exhale, we're going to press everything out as much as we can. So the next movement is called Green Dragon Displays Claws. So we're going to have this kind of claw position as we push. We're also, in addition to working on the lung capacity, we're getting a nice spinal twist on this one. And then there's a little bit of a squat in it for you too. So the way the movement works is you're going to take a big inhale and bring your hand up as you inhale. As you exhale, we're going to twist and push that palm towards that opposite side. So we're pushing, we're exhaling as much as we can, and we stop once we expel as much air as possible. The next inhale, you take a big inhale, flood the lungs again, and then come all the way back down. So we're doing this pressing movement while we twist. Cool. So we'll do 3 of those each side to kind of keep in the same pattern that we did with the plucking the stars. So and it doesn't matter which side we start. We're going to do both sides, right? So just pick a hand, take a big inhale, so we lift it up, and then you exhale and twist and push the floor. And then inhale, fill back up. Push and twist. Again. Again. One more each side. And then a couple of normal breaths. Come back to center. So, if you don't do them a lot, especially, it is common if you can get a little lightheaded doing those. Again, the idea is to just flood the lungs, expel the lungs, work on lung capacity, twist the spine, work the legs on that one. So I like that one's got a lot of pieces at once. The next part, I'm gonna make sure I'm doing it in the order that I like. is pulling the 9 oxen by the tail. So this is legs, this is arms, and we're gonna tense the whole body as we do it. So the position with the legs is we're gonna take a lunging position. So we're here and here. The front hand, imagine you grip something and you're pulling it into your chest to grip it here, right? And your backhand has that knot, kind of like almost like that knot position we had from the neck stretching and the pulling the 9 goes. So, but we're making a fists. So the idea is you want to imagine you're holding on to oxen, that has the name, and you're pulling them into you so they can't get away. At the same time, you're flexing your legs to get a bear down to make sure they're not going to drag you through the dirt. All right, so we're going to do a minute per side on that. Get a nice workout on that. Again, the intensity is up to you. That's why I like this. If you want to really bear down and tense, then tough it out. You can do that. And then if you're doing all the tension you can always extend the time. So here we go with a minute per side. Go ahead. Nice lunge. Tough it out with you. This looks like the strongman competitions. Getting close to halfway. Holding. Normal breathing. "15 seconds left." Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Shake that off a little bit if you have to. We've got the other side to do.
New hip just popped out.
Yeah, let's keep that in place.
Yeah.
Keep that in place. No. All right, other side. Here we go. And start. So we're here now, pulling in. Halfway through. Ten seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Oh, very good. Okay. So we've got a good lunge. Next one is more or less a stretch. And a little bit of a low lunge. So careful with your hip on this one, because this one does challenge the flexibility, but it's designed to extend, hence muscle tendon change. It's designed to make them elongated and more strong. So what we're going to do first, there's 2 positions in this, and we'll hold each for 30 seconds. So the first position is low lunge, hands on each side. We're leg back as far as we can. Knee stays hovered over the floor. We're going to look up. So think we're stalking prey. Then the second half, we're going to press back into that leg, straighten this out a bit, and then fold onto it. Stay within your flexibility, right? Don't push it any more than uncomfortable is okay, pain is bad, right? So just know your limits on that one. Do your best on it, right? So we'll do 30 seconds on each position. So the first is the low lunge, and then the second is the look down to the floor for the hamstring. Here we go. Nice low lunge. Change positions in about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and fold. Five more seconds. And very gently bring yourself out of that one so we can do the second leg. Good. All right, other side. We ready? And go. Lunging. Way through the lunge. 10 more seconds. Folding in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold. And relax. Nice and easy. Sound go away. Cool. All right, few more positions for this one. So the next one is another compression move. It's coupled with a squat. So what we're gonna do is, as we inhale, we're gonna lift the hands up to shoulder height. As we exhale, it's gonna be a real quick, sharp as we drop, squat down to the floor. Hitting the floor is okay. I've seen people do it that way. If they go really low, that's fine. But the idea is, again, is to inflate the lungs, get all the air out, and then inhale again as you lift the legs. Okay. Let's see. We'll keep it even. We'll do 6. All right, we'll do 6. All right, here we go. First one. One more. And then come back up. A few gentle breaths. Okay, so now we have 2 hamstring stretches. I'll call one a suspension and one a wiggle. What we're going to do with the suspension is called beating the heavenly drum. So we're doing 2 things. We're going to send vibrations into our brain, which is always, the good ones are always good. So we're going to fold, right, to about a tabletop position or whatever your body allows you to do, and we're going to hold this here. While we're doing that, you're going to compress your ears like you're blocking out sound, and you're going to flick the back of your head. So you'll hear that, like that tapping, so hence the heavenly drum. So you're going to tap that 20 times, 20 taps, and then as you hold that stretch, and then come back up nice and easy, controlled to the starting position. Cool? All right, so ear compression, then nice and easy to that tabletop, and then 20 of those flicks. And nice and easy. Back up. Cool. Sure I didn't miss one. Okay. Last one in this great hamstring stretch is we're going to swing the tail. So we're going to be down all 4s, right? Keep the legs straight in this position, and we're just going to look over our shoulder back and forth, and swing back and forth like you have a tail. And you're going to feel your hamstrings light up from side to side. So we're going to, inhale as you move, exhale as you move this way, and just work nice and easy back and forth as you wiggle your hamstrings through. All right, so grab the floor. We'll do 10 on each side. Look over your shoulder. Look one side, and then the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the knees to come back up to your starting position. So those are all the parts of muscle tendon change. So it's got a little bit of everything. So we're stretching, tension, lung capacity, right? And it's, again, I like them because I can gauge without using a weight how much I can press, how long I can do it, and I'm still improving muscular strength in that way, right? And if you're short on time, you can pick a piece of it or whatever works for you. So we're going to switch now into the 8 pieces of brocade. And if you've done it with me before, there's like 1 or 2 moves that are built-in tension. I'm going to build some more into it where we can build more into it too. Okay. So the first piece of the 8 pieces of brocade is a nice stretch. So it's nice for what we just did. We can do a nice big long stretch. So what we're going to do is interlace the fingers, take a big inhale up, and then exhale. And again. And then out. Normally with this one, we do 8 reps per piece. But because I also have other Ki Gong that are also building your internal energy, we don't want to be burnt out too much. So we'll do half of those tonight. So this is reaching towards the heavens for the fancy Chinese name. 1 more of these. Very good. All right, so the next piece we're going to do is called shooting the bow or drawing the bow. We're going to take a wider stance on this one. As we inhale, we're going to bring our hands in and into an X. And as we exhale, we're going to reach out. We've got this 2-fingered pointing, pulling this way. And then the next inhale, I would bring in this way and then reach out that way, right? So what we're going to do though, on the extend is that's where we're going to do our tension. So when we take a big inhale, think your body nice and loose. And as we exhale, tens everything up as you sink and extend and then release. Okay, so we'll do 4 of those, 2 in each direction for that. Cool. All right, here we go. Big inhale. Exhale, sink, press. Release, inhale. Other direction, press. Big inhale. Sink, press. Big inhale. Last one, sink, press. Nice big inhale. And then we'll a couple regulating breaths in, out. One more of those. So I do like when if I'm pushing that much tension, even with muscle tendon change, it's a good idea, and I do like to pause every once in a while to take a couple breaths just to kind of replenish the muscles. All right, so the next one is separating heaven and earth is the fancy Chinese name. So what I'm going to do is we're going to inhale as we gather. The exhale, we're going to press one hand up and then one hand down. And we're going to add a little spine twist as you look over that bottom hand, that shoulder, right? And we're going to add that tension too. So as we press, we're going to add that tension on the press also. So we're going to reach and stretch, kind of like we did in the 8 pieces on the presenting the pedestal, right? All right, so total relaxation on the inhale. Inhale. Tension on the exhale. Look over that bottom shoulder. One up, one down. Inhale to bring it back in. Other direction. Exhale. Bring it back in. Do one more in each direction. Exhale, tense. Loose, inhale. Exhale, tense. Inhale, loose. Bring the hands down. A couple of gentle breaths. All right, so we're going to slow it down for the next one. This is the wise owl gazes backwards. So as we inhale, I'm going to turn my head over my shoulder. We're going to do it in pieces. So the first thing it's going to move is your eyes, and then when I can't move my eyes anymore, then my head starts to go. When I can't turn my head anymore, my shoulder starts to go, and that's when I want to connect the waist. So they do catch up quickly. The idea is, as for this one, we're going to slow it down. Nice, gentle, slow inhale, and then on the way back, it's the same thing. Waist, shoulders, head, eyes, and then we'll go the other direction. So it's inhale as you look back, exhale as you come forward. And we'll do, again, 2 on each side or 4 total. Here we go. Nice, gentle inhale to look towards your shoulder. Body twist. And then exhale to bring it back to center. The direction. Exhale forward. Other direction. One more. And we're back to center. All right. I laugh about this one because it's a crowd favorite. The next one is wagging the tail and shaking the head. So it's similar to the last movement we did in the muscle tendon change, except for the body position is slightly different. So with this one, we're in the wide base, right? We're gonna make what we call the tiger's mouth or tiger's claw, and we're going to flip it around this way, and we're going to use that for support and grip about the middle of the thigh. Okay, so we're here. We're going to keep the back as aligned as possible, and on our inhale, we're going to look towards the back, and we're going to push that thigh, drop that shoulder, and pull that other one. We're going to get that stretch in the spine, and then as we exhale, bring it back to the front. All right, we're not going to tense on this one. We don't want to crunch the back up too much. You'll get enough of a stretch as it is, and you're going to work the legs because of the squat. Okay, So we'll do 4 on each side for this, or not 4 on each side, 2 on each side for this one. I'm not going to be mean today with that. All right, so here, grab the with your tiger's mouth. All right, so take a big inhale as you look back and over your shoulder. Exhale as you come back to the center. Looking over the shoulder, we're swinging the tail in the other direction. Look over the shoulder, other shoulder. And then exhale, bring it back to center. Other side. And exhale and bring it back to center. One more. And then exhale and bring it back to center. And then take a breath to bring it back up. And just walk back in with that. Okay. So that one's wagging the tail and shaking the head. Or spine twist and a squat. So the next one we're going to do is, it's got a really long name. It's pulling the toes to strengthen the knees and kidneys. Part of the movement involves, we're going to reach up underneath our feet, and there's a point right behind your big toe. It's kidney 1, so it's the linkage is that point there is the kidney region. So when you reach up under, we're trying to hit that point. Now, if that's going to make you fall over, you don't have to reach that far, because even when I try to do it, I teeter. So that's not, we don't want to challenge the balance too much on this one. The movement is, we're going to bring the hands out, big inhale as we reach up. As we exhale, it's going to come down the front of the body until we hit the waist, and then flip to the back of the legs as we continue the exhale, and this is when we'll reach the feet. From here, we're going to take a big inhale, and when you take that big inhale, I want you to tense the leg muscles on that. And I also want you to think about breathing through your back. And this is another reason why it's considered strength the knees and the kidneys, because now we're working those muscles around that area as well. So I want you to think about inflating towards, like breathing towards the back. You guys, you kind of understand what I mean? Like, I don't know if you, so if you put your hands and you kind of inflate as you inhale that way, and it's easier to do when you're hunched over anyway, for that, so you'll feel it. So it's an inhale, exhale down the body, reaching the legs. We're gonna take a big inhale here as we flex, and then a big compression exhale. So we're gonna exhale, get everything out, and then take a big inhale as we come back up again. So now we have a squat built in as well. So nice hamstring stretch, nice squat, good compression, work on lung capacity along with all the other stuff. So we'll do 4 of those. Big inhale up. And then exhale. Lift to the back of the legs at the waist. Grab the legs, flex, big inhale. Exhale, squat down, compress. Press back up, inhale. Exhale. Grab the legs, big inhale. Exhale. Big inhale, stand up. Exhale. Grab the feet, big inhale. Exhale, press down. One more time all the way around, big inhale. Exhale. Big inhale. Exhale. Big inhale. And then bring it back to center. I'll take another breath. One more. So again, it's another one of those you can push yourself harder with that one. Really works those hamstrings. We do, and all of you have been in karate class, so we do a lot of kicking. Great to loosen that up, and you get in the squat and you're moving it. And it's, with all of this kind of stuff, the important part is we're not just stretching, we're stretching and moving. We're stretching, moving, and breathing. We're putting all the elements together that make it work the best. For just moving in general, right? So the last no, we have two more. So the next one is punching with angry eyes or angrily punching. It depends on who translates it and what it looks like. So we're taking that wide base, that horse stance again from here. I'm going to change up the breathing on you for this one. Usually when we exhale on the extend. For this one, we're going to inhale, and we're still going to tense on the extend though. So we're going to bring the hands in, inhale, or sorry, let me reset. We're going to inhale and extend. So we're going to bring our hands in this way to start. First punch, inhale, tense all the muscles as you extend your punch. And when you exhale, bring it back this way. So we're inhale, tension, exhale, release. Inhale, tension, exhale, release. All right, so we're opposite what we've been doing with the exhale and the tense. Now we're going to inhale and tense. It's a little bit different of effect. It's going to feel a little bit different. So we're going to try it out this way. So we'll bring it in here. We'll do 4 punches a side. So big inhales, you extend your first punch, tense all those muscles. Exhale, release. Other side, tense all the muscles, inhale. Exhale, release. 2 more, 1 each side. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. And then bring it back to your center. All right, that's 7 of the 8 pieces. The last one's another drop. All right, very similar to the plucking the stars from the Big Dipper move from the previous set. What we're going to do with this one, though, is this one really challenges the balance and helps improve your balance. As you inhale, I'm going to come up with the ball of the foot, and you're going to hold your breath and bounce 6 times and just drop on your heels. Right. So for sideways, inhale, bounce, drop. So we had that heel stomp, shakes everything loose a little bit, plus it challenges your balance to be bouncing on your toes. And we'll do 4 of those. All right, so it's a nice big inhale, bounce 6 times, drop. Yeah. The more of these I do in the row, the more I have the tendency to fall, so it gets worse. Big inhale, bounce, drop. 2 more, inhale, bounce, drop. 1 more, inhale, bounce, drop. Excellent. Okay, so that's all the 8 pieces. So we have muscle tendon change, breathing is normal. Well, breathing is labored because we're stressed, because we're straining, right? But there's no special breathing for that one. Just regular breathing as if like through each movement. And then for 8 pieces is a little bit more concentrated, right? We're focused more on matching the movement with the breathing. The next one, Grand Martial Tradition, similar tone, right? So we want to match the movement of our arms with the pace of our breathing for this one. So the slower and more elongated, the better, the more you're working on lung capacity, right? But we want to do it within our limits. So there's 3 different ways to do this one. The first way we're going to do it is with no tension, just to get the pattern down, especially because it's a newer one. We haven't done it as much. Then we're going to do it with relaxation on like the inhale and then tension on the exhale, right? Then we'll flip it kind of like we did before. And then we'll do tension on both the inhale and exhale. And that's kind of what I like about this one, is because it depends on what your mood and what your need is at the time. You can pick any one of those. They're all right. They're all correct. The key concept, though, is to match your breathing to the way you're moving your arms. So you want to match the pace of your breath to the arms for those. So they're all going to be from this wide base position for this one. The beginning movement is to inhale, is we inhale and bring our hands in. All right, so it's a big, like this. Okay, so they'll all start from this position on that inhale, and then the exhale is what changes for the next couple positions. So there's 6 positions. We'll count them at the end. So the first position is we take the inhale, and then as we exhale, we sink into our legs, and we extend out and splay our fingers. So think of extending all that energy out past your fingers. And then we take an inhale, and then exhale. We'll do one more gentle one. Inhale, and then exhale. Good, so that's move 1. So we'll pause there for a second. So we'll go through all the moves, and then we'll do them in sequence, and then we'll do them and flip them around a little bit and play with how each one feels. So the next movement is a push down. So I'm in my wide base position. I take my inhale, bring my hands in, and then as I exhale, I press towards the floor this way. So it's inhale, exhale. All right, so let's try that out. Inhale, and then exhale. We're not worrying about tension or any of that right now. We're just getting the movement. And then exhale. Again, in, and then out. One more, in, and then out. Excellent. Very similar. Now we're going to push up. So now as we breathe in, we're going to press up. Then again, in, and then up. Do one more. In, and then up. So the next one, as we bring our breath in, we're going to push the sides. Bring it in, and then out. Again, in, and then out. One more in, and then out. All right, so the next one, just we'll put our arms out for a second. This one's a little bit extra movement for the next 2. So the next one, as we breathe in, we're going to continue bringing our hands towards our back. So if you've ever done the dish exercise, we're basically doing the dish with 2 hands. So we're going to bring our hands, fingertips through, around. They come together like the back of the hands, and then on the exhale, we're pulling and reframing the body again. All right, so it's in, hands come out and around, out. Yes, this is a fun one for the shoulders too. It's a fun one for the shoulders. So we're going to start with no tension.
Can you explain the breathing on that?
Okay, sure. So we're going to go in, out. And then once you hit here again, it's in, in, out. Good. We'll do it again. In, out. Pause. Yeah. So after the first one, as soon as you exhale, in, So you can take your break here if you need to. If you need to pause, this would be your stop point for that. So it starts and ends in the same way. Okay. So the last piece to this one, again, this is a different one. So with this one, the inhale, and then on the exhale, we're going to bring our hands up, make fists, and then tense and pull down with that. So if we start this way, take an inhale, and then exhale. And then you're grabbing, think of like you're grabbing a horse by the reins. All right, we're about right here. I don't think I ever did that. And anyway, inhale. And then exhale. And you twist them in. Cool? Make sense? Okay, so let's try this. We'll do all the movements in a fluid sequence. We're not going to worry about tension, right? We're just going to try to get a flow. So that's one of the first ways to do it, and it's the best way to get the pattern of the movements down without having to worry about where I tense and whatnot for that. And there's a couple of different ways, and the reason why I like this is the way we're going to do it, and I'm going to stick to tonight, is we're just going to do each move in sequence. But you could do it also like the other movements, like 8 pieces, where we did 8 reps and then move to the next one or whatever it is. So it just depends on how you want to work. If you just want to do one movement, you can just pick apart the one movement. But I like doing them as a flow with this one because we have so many other sets where we do repetition with do this one, do this one, do this one, and then switch to the next move. Versus this one. This one's nice because it doesn't matter. You can flow from one to the next, or you can do repetitions for each one. Okay, so let's try the flow from here. First move, we're gonna inhale, exhale, reach, bring it in, inhale, push to the floor, inhale, push the ceiling, inhale, push the sides, inhale the dish move, so we're going to bring it in, exhale, we're going to inhale, take a big inhale from here, exhale, and then we'll start all over from here. So we'll inhale, exhale, inhale, push the bottom, inhale, push to the top, inhale, push the sides, inhale, dish move, inhale, exhale, good, and pause there for a second. Give your legs a break. So now we're squatting for a bunch of reps too, which is nice, and we're just breathing through the squat. So and levels of that too. You can just add a deeper squat if you want. You can sink down more. So we're getting a nice workout. Legs are the biggest muscle groups. The more you work those, that'll. Plus, again, we kick in here, but we're on our legs all the time. Legs are probably you keep your legs healthy, you're gonna have a better time, right? You don't want to be bad knees, bad hips, right? Right. Now you tell you, right? Yeah. We can do what we can now. All right, so now let's try it with the tension on each extension, right? So we're gonna, same flow, right? Same flow, but now every time we extend, you're gonna dynamic tension through the move for each time, okay? So we'll get our horse stance position again. Big inhale, tense push. Relax and release. Push to the floor. Relax and release. Push the ceiling. Relax and release. Push the sides. Relax and release. Tense from the push, pull in. Inhale, release. Exhale, tense. Big inhale, release. Right, so we could do 3 reps of that, and you'd be toasted because you'd be pushing, right? I don't know about you, but I'm already getting pretty hot. We've been doing this. Like I said, 3 of the most aggressive sets that I know, and we're doing back to back. So you guys are getting a good workout tonight. Hopefully you'll sleep well. Bring plenty of fluids at the end before you go to bed. So now let's do it with the tension on the inhale, much like the punching part of the last set. And then we'll release on the exhale. So when we do this, it'll be tension, and then exhale as we release and sink now. So all the exhales will be the release, and all the inhales will be the tension on these. So here we go. Tense and inhale, pull in. Exhale. Tense and inhale, pull in. Push the floor. Tense inhale, pull in. Push the ceiling. Inhale, pull in. Push. Big inhale, a lot of tension. Exhale. Tense and inhale. Exhale. And then relax. Nice and hot. Good. All right. So last version we'll do this. We'll do tension on both sides. So dynamic tension the whole way through, all breath. Right, start to finish. Okay. All right. So one more time. Take our horse stance. Tense on everything. So big tension. Inhale. Exhale. Keep that tension. Inhale. Exhale. Push down. Inhale. Push up. Inhale. Push out. Inhale. Dishes. Big inhale, tense. Exhale, push. Exhale. And take some nice deep breaths after that one. I ended with the sweatiest one. Send you home all. Everybody was cold when they came in. Now we're all hot.
Yeah.
Right. Good. That's the general idea. All right. Yay! It worked. Like I said, I wanted to pick like sets that you could really take and go, okay, I don't feel like going to the gym, but I want to feel like I worked out, right? So these sets I feel are awesome for that. You do these every day, and then I'm not going to say you're going to be Bruce Lee ripped, but you're going to be feeling pretty good, and it's going to help build your flexibility, stability, and It's not just flexibility. Hey, I can kick above my head. It's like my muscles are stable because I'm breathing through and holding positions and working on all the muscles along with just that stretching. Okay. So we have muscle tendon change, 8 pieces of brocade, and Grand Marshal tradition. Any questions? None? Not at all?
We get this, right?
Yep, you get that. Yep, that's why I did that today and put that as a person so that you would get that recording and have a reference to be able to do it again. And awesome. So, very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me. I mean, twice as many as the last one. Yeah. Getting there.
Hey.
Very cool.
Who wants to do this stuff in the middle of winter?
Right? I know.
I do.
I do.
Oh, jeez.
What did you say?